like when I think of Bills history, I think of like maybe it's just because they were in the division with the Patriots and just getting beat down.
Well, yeah, because you remember the Patriots dynasty over the last 20 years. Like,
but like if I went back and look, and like if you look, it's just like finish fourth, finish third, finish fourth. There was one that said finish fifth, which I don't even know how that's possible. There's only 4 teams.
hey, yo.
What's up?
Welcome back to episode 25.
The Reggie Bush edition.
Reggie Bush edition of the Who F'n Kneauxs Podcast. Should have been 5, though, technically. I'll go on a whole tangent about Reggie Bush in a minute. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Give him his fucking trophy back.
We don't have to go on a tangent about Reggie Bush.
Tonight, the official podcast of Ground Patty fans everywhere. As they say.
Of what?
Ground Patty fans.
Okay.
Don't fucking interrupt my shit, man. It's
Sorry.
my spiel.
Sorry.
Official podcast of Ground Patty Jr.? Whatever. The one that burned down. Fans everywhere.
Oh, okay.
As they say, heroes get remembered, but legends never die. So big ups to the Ground Patty. Anybody who lived in Metairie has been there once in their life. Nobody even knew it was still there, but it burned down last night. So sorry for you.
R.I.P. in peace.
That's all I got. Until next time. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Oh.
No, man.
Welcome to the second coldest episode of the Who F'n Kneauxs Podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of things burning down in fires, we definitely should have had a fire tonight. That would have been...
I just blew into the mic. That's going to sound awful. Sorry.
They'll get over it. Thank you for listening, by the way, if you've joined us again. Last week, we had a draft where we selected
Did you go back and look at the results? Because I haven't.
our breakfast. I'm assuming that I won. I'm just going to...
Do you want to do the reveal on
we
camera
can do the
right
reveal
now?
on camera because I have no idea.
All right, we'll waste time.
I actually wrote down bacon versus pancakes. Let's circle back to who won. So that's going to be our first topic tonight.
I'll concede defeat if I lost the poll.
So my argument was bacon is a clear-cut number one. While I agree that like pancakes and everything else basically that you selected are very solid picks. They're all third-round picks.
In a landslide, you won. Look at that.
Yeah, because it's fucking bacon. Bacon is the
shout
goat.
out to all 62 people who voted.
Yeah, come on, man. As Marcelo was the one who was talking through it. He was basically like, listen, anyone can play with bacon. Bacon could recruit anybody, right? Bacon's not the star. Bacon can be the side piece.
That's why bacon's not number one, because it's just a side piece.
But it's phenomenal. It fits in with anyone, and it's there to win championships.
You're not drafting your 6th man of the year over number one overall.
No, my argument is bacon. Bacon is LeBron James.
No.
Yeah,
you just called him a side piece.
He can fit with it. Well, on a championship roster, yes. These days,
your bacon is Anthony Davis.
No, no. That's what your pancake is. You got 6 Anthony Davises. You're going nowhere.
Nope.
You're going nowhere. You got nothing. That's it. Bacon won. It doesn't matter. He said he was going to admit defeat, but he lied. That's that. We don't have a draft yet for tonight. We're going to come up with that later on a whim. We'll see what happens. Willie Green was tossed tonight. First of all, before we get into that, on a losing streak. That's something I want to mention. 6-game losing streak. Tonight's Wednesday for many that
it's
doesn't
cold.
know.
We should have took a shot for every loss the Pels had in a row.
So 6 shots just off the rip to start this thing?
Would have kept us warm.
I've got bourbon, vodka, what you want. I can go inside for 5 seconds. They won't miss me.
You should have threw some bourbon in that coffee right there.
Yeah, I should have. It's all right. I don't need any more. I didn't eat and went to the Pels game and had like 3 beers just immediately.
I was expecting to be here and you just chowing down on a burger while we're recording.
No, I realized I got home, I didn't have any food. I made a sandwich. I was like, fuck, I'm so hungry. Anyways, the Pels are not looking good. I mean, obviously we have injuries. Brandon Ingram came back tonight, but we did lose our 6th in a row, which is tough, man. Ingram looked like he was on a pitch count. I'm at the game. I didn't get to hear, what was actually happening or why he wasn't playing as much as I thought he would.
Hey,
but I get it.
Just minutes restriction. That's all it was.
I assumed.
You could tell he didn't have his legs. He was short on a lot A lot of shots.
I'm not. I'm still in this area, right? Like I see everyone like, oh, we got to make changes, and like maybe, yeah, like you should probably make a move before the deadline, just because. But I'm not freaking out. Are you freaking out?
No, I don't know. Not freaking out. Definitely not freaking out. But I mean, it doesn't feel good. But it's hard to. If this was all happening with BI, with Zion, then I'd be like, all right, we got issues.
Absolutely. And that's another piece, right? Like you can sit here and say, well, until this guy gets back and when that guy gets back, like it's all going to come together. But at the same time, there's that old saying, like you are who you are. Like you are what your record says you are. And if your guys aren't healthy and you're or not a losing team, but you're hovering around 500 now, you're a couple games above. Sorry, I don't mean to disrespect. But, like...
Just wait. Give it a week.
No, I know. But, like, you are what your record says you are, right?
Yeah.
So, do you make a move? Would you make a move?
It's interesting you said. I've been thinking about possibly doing some kind of article on this, like whether you should trade or not. I think so. I mean, I look at it as you have to operate under the impression you're not going to have – at this point, you almost have to operate as if there's going to come a point where you don't have BI and Zion again or BI or Zion again. Like, that's how I'm looking at it because, I mean, like I'm not trying to hate on them or nothing like that. It's just history speaks for itself, They're pretty fragile guys. And I don't know about you, but I'm about over CJ trying to run this team. So
yeah, I saw.
They need another guy that can create his own shot when they're out or when they're just can't get things going. Because you saw it when Zion wasn't hurt. If he was struggling, like sometimes there's just nobody else that could create a shot. Like if CJ can always create his shot. May not be a good shot, and he may just be off that night.
It's going to take him 19 seconds to get it too. But.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
I love CJ.
But yeah, I mean, I think so. Now the question is, what kind of move? Like people keep throwing out OG. I'm not sold on that. I feel like if you're gonna throw in, because that's like a trade in all your assets kind of move right there. That's what it's gonna take for him.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's the player you do that for. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as sold on him as other people.
I mean, OG's. I love OG.
Good. I mean, yeah, he's a good player. But I don't know.
Do you sell out for him? Is he a player you sell out for? That's because if you sell out on him and you miss,
like they're talking, they want two young good players and picks. You could get Bogdanovich for. They want an unprotected first.
Yeah, I'm looking at Chris Dotson put a piece out the other day, which went through a couple of the options. Shout out Chris. He did some writing for us recently. But one of them was like Billy, who I love, and Devontae for Danilo Gallinari and Blake Griffin. And I get it, damaged goods, whatever. A guy like Danilo Gallinari, I can't even say his name right now, when healthy, like everywhere he's gone, they've won.
Yeah,
they performed.
That's the question. Do you go for, like, if you trade for OG, that's a starter.
Yeah.
That completely disrupts your lineup, which it could work out. I'm not saying that that's not a good move. Like if he gets put in the starting five, then great. But if you go trade for if you trade for Gary Trent, he's coming off the bench. Like and it's not going to disrupt things as much. Granted, I still think the starting five might need some tweaking when everybody's healthy. But
I was going to say you don't even know what the starting five should be right now. That's the problem. Like
I'm looking at it as if it's when fully healthy. CJ, are you saying you don't know what it should be with the current healthy players?
I mean, yes, but both. Like realistically,
yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm approaching it as if everybody's fully healthy. What do you need to add? And I'm still under the belief that you maybe take Herb out and put Dyson in.
Maybe.
Or whatever, the same the conversation we had previously. But I don't
That's another one. Dyson going down like that. That
yeah,
stings.
that hurts, man.
Before like a couple games ago, in my head I was thinking, okay, maybe we need to tinker with the lineups now that we have a couple injuries. Like, get the right lineups together, and we'll hold the fort. So that was what I was thinking. And then you lose Dyson too last game, and it's just like, man, like what, like now you're just throwing shit at the wall. Like, what do you do?
It frustrates me that Kyra still doesn't get any run with Dyson out. Like, he's looked good every time he's been on the court.
Well,
he's looked good.
But he got sent to the G League the day that Dyson got, like literally before the game,
I guess.
So like, but
even that with Dyson healthy, like you got role players that are not playing well at all, that are doing nothing to hold off.
Call him out.
Is Devontae. I'll call him out because I've come on here and on Twitter and everywhere defending him when he was playing well.
Yeah.
So I'll call him out. Like, he's not playing well. Jose went through a pretty rough stretch. I don't want to take a lot of Jose minutes away.
No,
of course, but
there's a few things here, right? The Devontae minutes, there were some rough patches. Tonight, it wasn't Devontae.
No.
I'll be honest. Tonight, it wasn't Devontae. Tonight, it was a lot of things. But in general, if I could, you said some things on Twitter today, turnovers.
That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is the turnovers. It doesn't matter who you have if you're turning the ball over as much as they're turning the ball over.
And I'll take it a step further. We're turning the ball over a lot, and there's other things like live ball turnovers or whatever you want. They're not live ball turnovers, but I think AD talks about them a lot. Like, when you take a bad shot, bad offense is basically the same thing as a turnover. If you take a bad shot and then you can't get back and defend because you took a bad shot and they just took it off the rim and went, the full court with it,
right?
Like, it's the same damn thing. Like, that's something that's killing us right now. You play bad offense, you pound the ball for 15 seconds, and then because one person did it, another guy does it, and then another guy does it, the ball's not moving. Like, it's just rough to watch. It's like watching the Rockets.
That's the thing. The Pelicans' lows are very low. I mean, lately it feels like earlier in the season, you might get a little bit of turnovers, but for the most part, it was pretty consistently good, sound play on both sides of the ball. Like, lately, it's like you're sitting there like, all right, at some point we're about to hit this stretch of turnovers. What does it come in?
Yeah, and the defense isn't even necessarily there like it used to be to turn it around, because it used to be good defense leading the offense. And now it's just kind of like bad offense. You get
lackluster
defense.
Like last night, you got a good second half of defense. Today, you got a good first half of defense. They're not. I don't know. That's the biggest thing for me is the turnovers. Turnovers. Bad. The offense is, like you said, the ball sticks. If you're forcing bad shots, and I don't know, but I mean, I'm all right. I don't know, but making a trade, going back to that, I guess to wrap that up, I think but I'm not sold on trading away all the assets yet, because like I've told you before, I feel like when you do that, when you feel like you're
right there.
Yeah, and
do you not feel like we're right there?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. We were the 1 seed when everybody was healthy.
I was gonna say I don't.
It's hard.
I'm a vibes guy. This is a theme that you guys may see if you watch me long enough. People in my life make fun of me because I'm all about the vibes. The vibes are off right now. The vibes are off. So making that splash move, thinking you're right there, it doesn't feel right.
If you would have asked me when we were the 1 seed, should they make a trade? I'd be like, yeah. But also at the same time, you're the 1 seed with the roster you got.
Yes.
Why trade everything away? I mean, you look at it as the Lakers pick you have is losing value every night. Honestly, our pick is looking more valuable, to be honest, right now.
Well, the way it's
trending.
The way it's trending. I mean,
right.
If you look at a graph, everything aside, and you say, hey, like at the end of the season, which one of these picks do you want?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? You think you go all in on somebody? Or?
No. I actually don't. I don't think you go all in. Well, it depends what all in means, right? Like, I'm not trying to trade guys like Dyson or
no.
Like, what does all in mean? Like sending all our picks? No, but like you can send a couple of them. I am intrigued, and I mentioned it already, by a guy like Danilo Gallinari. If you can get a guy like that on a deep discount, I'm all in. Yeah. He's a guy that can come off the bench. He can handle the ball. He can create his offense. He can shoot the three. He can defend a little bit. Like, he could do a little bit of everything. He's just an all-around, like, winning plays type of guy who can also shoot, which is what I'm looking for. If you can get him cheap, I know he's hurt. Now, your whole roster's hurt, so it's like, hey, do I want to trade for another guy that's got a injury history? But I don't know. That's kind of where my brain's at.
I mean, I guess the best way to look at it is you got to identify what you need right now. And we said in the past, like, another big.
Yeah.
I don't know if you still feel that way.
I do, but the problem is, what big are you going to get? Like, you're not going to get a big better than what you have.
I'm trying to think of a way to say. It's like you need a different kind of big.
But who are you gonna get is the thing. Like,
I mean, the biggest name I've seen people float around, which I don't even know if he's available, is like Mo Bamba.
What's he really giving you though? I get the fandom, but like, what's he really?
You don't need an offensive big. If anything, you need a defensive big.
There's a reason that there's a lot of teams around the league, and you're hearing a lot of rumors of people clamoring for like a guy like Billy Hernan-Gomez. Yeah. He's our third big, but like, he's good, and there's teams around the league that want him because there's not a market out there for bigs.
I think the big, you can survive with the bigs you got. For now, if one goes down for an extended period of time, you might be in a little bit of trouble. But I mean, that's most of the teams around the league. Don't have. We got three guys. Like, if you had to throw Billy in there to take Larry minutes, I think you'd be all right.
I'm fine.
You could survive with it.
He'll hold the fort. Like, he's a great bench big.
I think you started to see, like, with all the injuries, like, the weakness in the role players. Like, I know they've been thrust into bigger roles, and that's not their job, but you can kind of see what everybody's weaknesses are. Mm-hmm. I think you need, like I said, another guy that can go and get a bucket. Like, when things are just, like tonight, when shots just aren't falling for that, because it always happens with the Pels, it seems like. When we go ice cold, the other team can't miss.
Yeah.
You need somebody that can just go get a bucket. So that's why that's why I look at, like, Bogdanovich or even Gary Trent. Somebody along those lines. Another shooter would be nice. I mean, you got one shooter, they don't seem to want to let him take shots.
I was thinking that. I don't know if that's what it is. It's not even like, or I guess that's my question.
Does it not seem like that earlier in the year they were generating looks?
That's what I was gonna say. Is it a thing where, like, it's just not happening within the flow?
The teams adjust to it,
where they're just not drawing up plays for it. Like, I don't know. Like, what's happening? I tell you, I was watching a game tonight, and I was specifically watching him, and he wasn't necessarily like. They weren't drawing plays for him, first of all. You could see that. But he really wasn't open either. Like, they're not leaving him. So you would think that other guys could get open. Who they are leaving is Herb Jones, which rightfully so right now. I don't know, man. Like, I would love to see Trey taking 20 shots a game. The problem is the way it looks from the games I'm watching, they don't look like they'll be good shots. Unless we're going to draw up some plays for the guy, like, I just don't see it.
Yeah,
because he's not going to create. He's not creating for himself. That's the one major thing.
He does get to the rim.
He gets to the rim because he's a good shooter, and they respect the shot. Like, you're not going to ISO the guy.
You definitely need
kill him.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
No, I get what you're saying. But that's the kind of guy I think you need. Is that kind of guy? Because I mean, you really don't have any. You have CJ, but like you said, it takes him half the possession to get there.
And I think that answers your question on why Willie Green is forcing Devontae so much, because if you look at Devontae, that's who he's supposed to be. He's a good shooter, or he's supposed to be a good shooter. He's an undersized guard. He's supposed to just give you buckets. Like, that's what he's there for. And it's not happening.
I think Jose's been better at just getting you buckets.
I agree.
I mean, B.I. could go get a bucket.
Well, his first game back tonight though. Like,
right. Well, that's what. If you look at it, that's the hardest. It's the hardest thing though. Is all these guys are hurt. You don't know what you need. So like if you operate as if you don't have them, you won't be in this situation again. But
fuck it, give us Kevin Durant for a second-round pick. Willie Green got tossed tonight. I mentioned that earlier. Do you think he's just fed up, frustrated?
It's his first career ejection period. Never got ejected as a player. Never been ejected as a coach. First career ejection.
I saw somebody on Twitter point out that he still didn't curse when he got
AD,
ejected.
AD pointed that out too.
He says bull crap.
Yeah.
I was like, good for you, man. I respect the hell out of you.
Yeah. I think he's got to, if we feel as frustrated with the refs at home, he's feeling it.
Yeah.
Because it's been all year, and I don't want to sit here and blame refs. Like, I'm not blaming games on refs. Like, granted, the other night with the 5 count that would have been the one that got me tossed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was ridiculous.
It does feel like it's just something that it boiled over for games and games and games. Like, is there and maybe even be like a history with this specific ref?
Maybe.
I'm not somebody that pays attention to I know there's people that do that know when this ref is playing. Like,
I know AD pointed out, I saw the replay of it. AD pointed out that this particular call tonight, Jose had done something to the ref like 2 possessions before where like the ref felt some type of way about it. Probably held on to that.
Yeah.
Probably where that call came from, which the call is a terrible call. But going back to refs in general, I don't really necessarily blame refs. I believe that you play the game that's in front of you. I think refs just suck in general. Like, in general, league-wide, go look at the refs. Watch any game. You'll question a bunch of calls. It's not just the Pelicans in the NFL. It's not just the Saints, guys. Like, the refs just suck. Like, humans make poor judgment calls. They see things that aren't actually there. Like, people just make bad calls.
Yeah. No, the only thing I've really gotten on refs about this year is when Zion plays is the lack of calls.
For sure.
But we're never going to get those. So you kind of just have to live with it. Like, because if they – I somewhat get that in a way, because if they called a foul every time he was fouled, it'd be every possession. And I get, like, they're not going to do that. You almost can't do that, but, yeah, I don't know, man.
No, you're fine.
I don't know.
We can switch gears if you want.
Let's go.
I got other stuff written down. You had something you want to talk about? You want to have a fun conversation? You want to talk about what you're talking about? Is yours fun?
It could be.
All right, let's do that. Let's do whatever you want to do. We'll go to mine to close
a little bit of parenting talk here. So, being a parent yourself.
Yeah, I am. That's me.
Yeah. You ever have your kids doing something and you're starting to get so frustrated with them, just borderline, just like pissed off, and then you have to stop yourself and you're like, shit, he's me. Because he's just doing something. Like, it's something that he's so... I say he because of my son, he, she, whatever. It's something that you so very clearly they get from you, and you have to stop yourself from getting mad at him. Because my son he does these things where, so like when we're eating dinner, everything on his plate and on the table has to be in very specific spots, or he will. And if you move it, he will throw a fit. Like and then everything just needs to be in the right spot all the time.
Yeah,
and it makes me so frustrated. But I'm the guy that measured my entire living room out so that every piece of furniture is perfectly centered in the room.
Nothing wrong with that.
So,
actually, that's kind of weird, but yeah.
Well, but you see what I mean? I'm like, I'll start to get mad at him, and I'm like, he's just me, and I can't. Like, if I do that, I can't get mad at him.
No, you know what? As you were asking the question, I was trying to identify something very specific. I know it happens. You know what? It's for me with my daughter and with my son when he was younger. Not so much now because he's grown up. He's matured. He's kind of grown out of it. I am stubborn. I am not controlling, but like it's my way or the highway. Like I'm just like, listen, like this is what it is. You either like it or you don't. And I'm like that with everybody, and it's hard for me to not be like that. I try to be respectful, obviously, but my daughter is also like that back to me and to her mother, and I'm like, listen, you little mother, like, no. But like then I realize, like okay, like, but I still have to figure out how to like parent it out of her. Like I can't just let it happen. But yeah,
that's been the toughest part of being a parent for me is how to do it in like a parent way, correct it. But it's something that I know I do, and I'm 29 years old. I'm like, I can correct you all I want. You're gonna do this when you're 30.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, what is it? The soft parenting or whatever. Like, my wife will share videos with me, and some of them I agree with. Others I'm just like, no. Like, in that point, you're just enabling them to be a dick.
Me and my wife are the like complete opposite parenting. I don't want to say that. I think we do it almost like subconsciously on purpose, where she's like the soft. She'll get on them and correct them for sure, but I'm definitely the one. Like when somebody's got to raise their voice, it's me, and I feel bad. I feel terrible about it. But no, this thought came to my head the other day because I'm sure you saw I was building a 500-piece Lego set with the kid. he wouldn't understand that. Like he just wanted to play with it, and I was like, you can't. We have to finish it. I'm like, all right, we got it. He was like, I want to put the other wing on. I'm like, we're not to that step yet. But I want to put it on.
But we can't.
I was getting so frustrated. And then we're almost done building it. And he's like, I can't wait to make it fly. I said, no. We're not going to throw this thing across the room. I was like, if it breaks, we're not building it again. He goes, sure we can. I was like, no, we're not doing this.
But we could.
But I was getting so frustrated with him. I was like, you're impatient. Yep, that's me.
Yeah, that's definitely me too. I am impatient. I am stubborn. Yeah. All those things.
Nobody. It's always fun. Everybody always talks about, like, it's cool to see yourself and your kids, like, when they do something cool, and you're like, yeah, he gets that from me. Nobody ever talks about the negative side of how he's going to be a little asshole like me.
What's cool to me, and you're like, I'm sure you've seen it with your son as well, is like you can see the things he gets from you, and then you can also see the things he gets from your wife.
Oh, he has.
Sometimes the things he gets from you, you're like, I like that.
Yeah, he's got his mom's mood swings. Yeah. I tell her that all the time.
Yeah.
He's got his mom's mood swings, but he's got my anger streak. It's not good.
Yeah, no, my daughter's got my wife's, like, worrisome, like, just worry about everything. Well, it's not as bad. But yeah, try to parent that out of her. We'll see what happens.
That was it. That was all I had. I was sitting there the other night. I was like, I know people relate to this. I can't be the only one.
So we can switch gears because there's one more. I don't want to go too long tonight because it's fucking cold out here. By the time we finish this and then maybe do a draft, we'll get right there. Yeah. This is just over-encompassing. I know that today we had that Twitter exchange about, like, it's fucking LSU's little brother. You talk about LSU here and there, whatever. I want to talk about something very specific. Can schools claim players that have left their school and gone to another school? And the reason I bring it up is because there are Ohio State fans that just continuously claim Joe Burrow. Not an LSU fan. You guys all know this. It drives me nuts.
I think there's a very simple answer to this. If they've had success at both schools, yes.
So like Bama with
Hurts should be both.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
I could see that.
He was good at Bama. He was good at Bama, spent some time there. And then he was great at Oklahoma. I think both schools should have.
I think that's fair.
A right to him. People probably don't really know about, like, De'Aaron King. I don't know if you know who that is.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So De'Aaron King, I think Houston.
Tulane's the reason he left Houston.
Yeah, I think Houston and Miami should both get to claim De'Aaron King. I mean, he didn't win
Does Miami need to claim him? Do they want to claim him?
Yeah. Well, he was like the first big name transfer to come to Miami, so it kind of started that thing for us in that class. But I think that's the answer. Like, so they don't get to claim Joe Burrow when he was nothing there.
That's how I feel. I feel the same exact way. When I see it, it makes me cringe.
Yeah.
It's like, so what I wrote down is like, can Florida claim Cam Newton? No, absolutely not. Can Texas Tech claim Baker Mayfield? No. Like, there's players out there that have become names that have played at other schools that if you throw that, like, if I wouldn't have said those things, if I said, hey, like, you probably would have known Cam, but if I would have said, hey, what schools did Baker go to? Would you have known Texas Tech? Like, would you have thought of that? Maybe. But, like, you just instantly, like, you're going to attach schools to names.
Right. If I say Jalen Hurts, you'll be like,
you might pause.
Yeah, he finished it. And, I'll be honest with you, I think I would I'd connect Jalen Hurts to Bama before I connect him to Oklahoma. I don't know why. I think I just do. Maybe it's just because of all the guys they had there at the same time and how that whole situation went.
I was going to say maybe because it was more polarizing. Did they win a national championship?
I think while he was there, but did he win it?
I don't know. But he was on the team, and he was like a big part of that
team.
Who
went down when Tua came in? Was it him?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think that was
and at Oklahoma, obviously, they didn't. I mean, I might stick my foot in my mouth. I don't think they won one.
No.
So maybe that's what it is. More success at one school, and he was a clear-cut, big-time starter for a long time. Or not a long time, but like that year.
Yeah, I mean, you can just think about guys that didn't transfer, but like if they did, like if Michael Pratt would have transferred this year to a bigger school and went on and won another bowl game, you're gonna look at him as both places.
Probably, but I will make that argument that I just made, right? Like if he transferred to like a big school, like if he transferred to LSU, not that he would, and they win a national championship, like a lot of people would probably, because it's LSU and because they won a national championship as opposed to like Tulane, where
won
like
a Cotton Bowl.
They did.
LSU didn't win a Cotton Bowl.
But I'm just saying, like it's a bigger organization.
Yeah, no,
wins a bigger bowl. Like you probably get more national recognition, so maybe people would look at that a little more. Kind of like Hurts and Bama versus Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, I think that's the simple answer to that is if they were. I don't even want to just say successful. I think you have to be highly successful at both, which I don't know if Hurts was. I think he was.
I think he was successful at Bama.
Yeah.
I mean, he was definitely successful at Oklahoma. He put some numbers up there.
Yeah. Did he win a Heisman at Oklahoma? I think he did because I think they went on that run where they had a few of them. Yeah, I think that's the easy solution there. It's so cringy when how they claim Ohio. They claim Burrow. And we're not even LSU fans saying that.
Yeah, no, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, this is an outside looking in.
What are you doing, man? Like, stop. Oh, there's 9 Ohio State players. No, there's not. There's 8. Cut it out. One of those guys is not like the others.
Yeah. Well, that's because Ohio State has no quarterback to put there, so they're like of that tier. So they're like, we gotta have Burrow.
I guess so. Let me hold on to this guy. We fucked up with that one, but we're gonna act like he was ours. It's one of our boys. Speaking of just Cincinnati in general, one thing I wanted to bring up: Eli Apple. He's just a total piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
Like just no redeeming qualities. I can't think of one good thing.
I saw somebody tweet the other day. I guess it wasn't somebody I follow because Twitter's a shit show, and I just get people that I've never seen before in my life on my Twitter now. But it had to be like a Bengals fan defending him because they were like, Eli Apple went to New York, they hated him there. He went to New Orleans, they hated him there. Now he's in Cincinnati and they're winning. Like, he should be allowed to do whatever he wants. Like, no. First off, when he first came here, we bought into it because he was good.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah,
I mean, all right.
And he started to fall off a little bit, but I don't know that anybody really, like we definitely did the thing where he'd make a bad play and we're like, fucking Eli Apple, like that whole thing.
Same thing I do with PJ Williams every week.
Right.
I call him Kenneth Lamar instead of PJ because I get mad. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
It's the thing we do with like Adebo now, like
or
anybody. So. Like, we did not hate him until he left, and I don't think anybody really hated him until he said that one thing about New Orleans. He brings it on himself.
He does. And listen,
you're not good enough.
You're not good
Apple.
enough. That's the thing. Here's my thing. And I'm going to be the person I am, first of all. Let's put it out there. If I knew the guy in real life, I probably like the guy. I like everybody.
I don't like his face.
But the things I've seen like that, shit about New Orleans. Okay, fuck you, whatever. I can move past that. We could be friends still. A lot of people talk shit about New Orleans. I have close friends that talk shit about New Orleans, won't step foot in it, but they're scaredy cats. But like the DeMar Hamlin thing, like calling that in and like doing the heart after it's like, dude.
I didn't even see that.
You didn't see the tweet?
No.
Come on.
I didn't see that.
It was basically like, it was something, I forget what the exact tweet was. It was something calling attention to Stephon Diggs being at home or something like that. And then
the Cancun on 3 thing?
Yeah, Cancun on 3. And
I didn't even piece it together.
He put the hard hands. And it's like, come on, man. Cancun on 3 with hard hands? Like, go fuck yourself. Like, how big of a piece of shit can you be to, like, pull something like that in? There's things you can say.
Yeah.
There was a player, I forget what player it was, that said it. He's like, listen, you could talk all that shit on the field, but this type of shit will get you beat up for real. I was like, oh, yep, that's about right. Like,
he's so corny. I hate that.
That's
dude,
what prompted
I
this
hate
whole
him so
conversation
much.
from me. Anyways, we can move past that. I wanted to call attention to
Fucking
that.
Eli
Who are we
Apple.
rooting for the rest of the way? Even with that being said, are you rooting for the Bengals?
Yeah, I'm rooting for the AFC for sure. Whoever comes out the AFC, I don't.
Yeah, I think.
I don't want the Eagles to win, man. It just looks so bad for us.
I don't give it. That doesn't matter to me. It is what it
At
is.
the end of the day, I really don't care who wins. The Cowboys are gone. The Bucks are gone.
I don't want the 49ers to win. There's something inside of me that just will never
The
accept
only
the 49ers.
the only reason I'd be okay with the 49ers is because of the story with Brock Purdy would be
story.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the 49ers as a franchise, usually I would be like under no circumstances would I pull for them.
I have never.
I probably would pull for the Eagles over them. My stepdad's from Philly, and he's like a diehard Eagles fan. So, for him, I guess
I could be okay with the Eagles.
I think I'm hoping for Eagles Bengals.
I think I want the Bengals to win. Even with me talking shit about Eli Apple just now. Even with like the whole like LSU like fuck LSU thing. I don't hate LSU guys. I like Burrow. You know, I think they're a fun team.
Yeah, and it's a franchise that you can kind of relate to as a Saints fan.
Yeah, their Who Dey chant's weird though.
Yeah, we don't like that.
It's just weird because they like it feels rushed. I don't even know how it's like Who Dey, Who Dey, Who Dey, and they just keep repeating it. And I'm like, what? Is there another part to it? Like, is that all it is?
Yeah, I'm pulling for the Bengals the rest of the way, but I still think I might pull for the Chiefs over the Eagles if they get in. I don't have this hatred for Mahomes and
I don't either.
Kansas City that a lot of people have.
Well,
I don't understand that.
People get tired of teams that consistently
Is it like
win.
the Warriors situation?
Yeah, people get tired. It's the same reason that people. Well, it's not the same reason that people hated the Patriots because the Patriots actually won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But you know, you see a team at the top of the mountain every year, whether they get kicked off it or not, and it gets old.
Yeah.
You want new faces. You want new stories. You know.
Did you see the thing about what the Bills coach said today? Or the Bills GM said today?
Yeah, I saw that. Was it the thing like we weren't bad enough?
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to suck suck enough to get. I think that was the exact quote. Is I don't want to suck enough to get Jamar Chase, which I understand what he's saying there. But are we going to pretend that the Bills have been some superior franchise for the last 20 years? Like, how do you think you ended up with half the good players on your team?
It's fair. It's a fair argument.
I went back and looked because I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm misremembering how the Bills' history was.
No.
And it's been 20 years. The
Bills haven't been good since the 90s.
Yeah.
And they lost like four
Super Bowls in a row. Like,
poor Bills.
I laughed at that. I was like, I cannot believe those words just came out of his mouth.
Here's the thing though. The Bengals have never been good. Like maybe like 1 year here and there. Like,
they had the stretch with Dalton and Marvin Lewis where they were okay.
Okay. Yeah, they were okay. They didn't win a playoff. Marvin Lewis was that coach that hadn't won a playoff game ever, and then I think he finally won.
But
I don't even remember. Like,
at least they seemed like a competent team for a little while. Like when I think of Bills history, I think of like maybe it's just because they were in the division with the Patriots and just getting beat down.
Well, yeah, because you remember the Patriots dynasty over the last 20 years, like.
But like if I went back and looked, and like if you look, it's just like. Finished fourth, finished third, finished fourth. There was one that said finished fifth, which I don't even know how that's possible. There's only 4 teams.
Was it? It might have been before they did the realignment. Like
yeah, I'm sure it was. I don't know. It's like
that's hilarious. Yeah, because at least like Miami, who was not good, like would randomly have first place finishes every now and then. Like they'd win the division.
Stumble upon the Wildcat and have a fun little team. Like.
Well, it was that year, and then there was another year where I think Chad Pennington was their quarterback, and I was like, "Fucking Chad Pennington, awesome."
Yeah, no, I had to ask you about that because it made me laugh.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I mean, like, but I would agree though. Like, you never want to suck enough to like.
Whew, Dame just went for 60.
Good for Dame.
Dude, players going. The offense in the NBA right now is dumb. It's just dumb. Except for the Pels offense. There's somebody going for 50 every night.
Pass.
There was a boost on FanDuel last night for Luka and LeBron to combine for 65 points. I think they each went for damn near 50.
I would have took that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. All right,
Luka does all the scoring for his team.
We can move on.
I don't really have anything else. That's all I got.
I got nothing.
Are we doing a draft?
Yeah, I didn't have anything.
How much time we got left? Oh, we're pretty good.
Good.
Let's draft. What's an easy one? You got any ideas? Let's talk. If you got an idea and I got an idea, we'll talk through them. Do you have an idea?
We got. My mind instantly goes to some kind of foods.
We could do food again. We could do
candy.
I was gonna say we do candy. We just do
bars.
like dessert, junk food, all encompassing.
Junk food. That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's too much. We could do candy bars.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to do junk food, you gotta narrow it down to like either like strictly candy or candy bars.
Let's do candy.
Candy?
Do candy. Yeah.
All right.
Who goes first? Who went first last week?
You.
I did, so you go first.
See, I know what I want to draft first, but I don't know how other people feel about this.
You're going to lose again. Let's do it.
I don't feel as strongly about this one as I did last week. I am drafting number 1, Airheads.
It's a solid pick.
I feel like it should be drafted, but I'm not quite sure where.
It's a solid pick. I will give you that. I don't know if it's a first overall pick, but it depends. And
I don't know that I'm going to be able to come up with 4 more, but we're going to make it happen. Let's go.
You'll make it happen. I don't know. This is all off the top of the dome, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. We just picked this topic. And I know you're not a chocolate guy, but I think the top candy for me, first round pick for a lot of folks, is going to have to be like Reese's Cups.
You consider that a candy, not a chocolate bar?
Is chocolate bar not candy?
Okay. No, that's fine. I just needed to know that we were doing
I'm just
both.
curious.
Because we just said chocolate bar or candy.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, but
did
we can
you say
we can
that,
do
or
both.
Did we said
We were discussing. Let's do both. I like that because it makes it a little easier.
That's why my wife hates me, because I don't hear certain shit.
All
I'm like, I don't know what you said.
That's fair though. That's a good pick. I like that. Makes it a little bit easier on me because just coming up with 5 candies was gonna be tough.
Yeah. Let's go,
number
man.
2, then I'm gonna take a Snickers.
That's a good one. It's a good pick.
I like that you're not criticizing all my draft picks this week.
That's a good pick. Well, you're diversifying.
Well, that's the thing. Do we need to diversify here? We're just picking.
You don't have to diversify. It's fair. I'm gonna go. See, I'm not gonna diversify if I do this. I'm gonna go Twix bar.
Twix bar.
We go to Twix.
Okay. You know, I thought about a candy bar draft in my head the other night, and I had a sleeper pick in my head, and I forgot who it is. Number 3. So what we did so far? You got Reese's, I got Airheads, Snickers, and what was your second one?
I got Twix.
Twix.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna take. I'm not a fan of these, but I'm gonna draft them. A Kit Kat.
Oh, that's a pick right there, man. That should have been my round 2. I didn't think of it. That's what I get. I didn't put in my work.
Did you draft the left or right Twix?
Well, I drafted them together, so hopefully they can get along. It's a pairing.
Oh, I remember my sleeper pick.
Yeah, they come in a pack. I'm third round pick for me. This has got to be a good pick. I feel like a lot of people like these. I'm going Starburst.
Yeah, solid. That's a good one.
Yeah,
good pick there.
Thanks, man.
Good pick. All right, this pick is more of. I don't know that it's gonna like be a good viewed great by the public here, but it's a personal favorite of mine. Sour Punch straws. Number 4.
One. That is a good one. I don't have a 4. That's a good one.
I got a 5th locked and loaded. Yeah.
Jesus.
I remember my sleeper pick.
I'm going to... what do I go with here? I know what I'm going with. I'm going old school. We are going to go with a blow pop.
Okay. I didn't think suckers.
You go blow pop.
That's a good one. My 5th pick. I think this is one of the most underrated candy bars in all of existence. The cookies and cream Hershey.
I'm not a fan of those, but I could see how other people would be.
I love those. I love the cookies and cream Hershey. I love anything cookies and cream.
I could see
for that matter.
It's not a bad pick.
It's a 5th round pick. I feel like I got a decent value there.
I
think it's got a little cult following, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? My 5th pick. I think this one's not a sleeper. I think this could be for some folks a 3rd round pick, and it fell to the 5th. So maybe it's a slider, not a sleeper, a slider. This is the Aaron Rodgers of the candy draft. I'm going peanut M&Ms.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
You could have just said M&Ms.
Yeah, I could have, but I specifically wanted to do peanut M&Ms.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the superior M&M.
I like a good M. I like a regular M&M.
Okay. Do you remember the crunchy? Were they crunchy M&Ms? What were they back? Remember back in the day when they had like 40 different kinds of M&Ms? You had the peanut, you had the regular, you had the
M&Ms,
caramel.
What the fuck is going on with all these candies right now?
Dude, I don't even know.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah. I don't even know.
I did not want to get into another topic, but I can't tell if this is a joke.
When shit like this comes up, I intentionally look the other way. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with them. I'm going to go do this other shit.
Well, I thought it was serious, and then A&W Root Beer tweeted out today that it was almost like the exact same wording that they were putting pants on their mascot because they understood that a pantless mascot could be offensive.
Does A&W Root Beer have a mascot?
Is A&W tied in with
I have no
M&M's?
idea.
It's like the parent company, whoever that is.
Mars?
Mars, yeah.
Why do I know that?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Something is happening in the candy world right, or in the junk food world right now.
Somebody get Willie Wonka on the phone because we need answers.
You got a UDFA?
Oh, yeah, I do, but it's not. This is just a personal favorite of mine.
Yeah.
You want me to throw it out there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going Caramello.
Caramello.
Yeah, it was a big time favorite of mine as a kid. I love caramel. I love chocolate. Combination of the two.
Yeah, mine would be Butterfingers.
That's a good one too. That's a really good one. That could have been an actual pick.
I get a lot of hate for saying I like, but Butterfingers are my favorite chocolate bar.
I could see how, it's got a cult following. Probably, I could see people. Really
my top two are Butterfingers and Snickers. Like that's my two favorites.
There's another one. Probably not for younger folks, but like York peppermint patty. I feel like my dad loved them. Like a lot of older folks I knew love those things. I don't know if it's the mint. Like a lot of people, mint is hit or miss. Like you either like it or you don't.
Yeah, this could have been. Yeah, he can miss me with mint for sure.
I'm saying.
At least mint and chocolate. There's a lot of things that I'm thinking of right now. Bubble gum, just double bubble.
Just in general, big league chew.
Zebra cakes.
Oh, we going cakes? Cosmic brownies.
Yeah. Oh, I like a good cosmic brownie.
I didn't know that was a part of it.
I didn't think about it until just now.
Are we talking
we'll
baked
save
goods?
it. Save it. That's another. We can do that as another draft.
All right.
I want to throw out our next possible draft idea. When's the All-Star game?
I don't fucking know.
All right. Whenever that week.
February.
That week, I want us each to draft a starting five. An all-time starting five.
Oh, an all-time starting five? I like that. We could do that.
And it's a draft, so you can't get whoever I get.
Or we'll talk about it more.
Yeah,
but you guys can give your input. Yeah. Should it be like an actual 1 through 5 roster, or is it just
I want
the
it
best
to be
5 players?
You know how I haven't played 2K in a while. You know how on 2K you used to be able to just go. You could pick 5 people on you could do 3v3, pick any 3 players and just go play.
Yeah,
you can pick 3 centers if you wanted to.
Okay, but are we judging it based on this team would beat this team?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Your team versus my team.
Okay.
We'll spend a little bit more time on that one too, because we're gonna get into some debates on who might guard.
That's why I'm thinking that, because if I'm picking all certain types of players,
that's not what I want to throw on you at the last minute.
If I go Dame and Steph and you go Shaq and Wilt, I'm gonna be like, oh, fuck, I don't know what's gonna happen here. It's not gonna be good.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll have to. That might be a whole episode. All right. You remember your 5? What were your 5?
I don't know. They're on video.
That's a good point. There's no question. Quick story before we go. I was gonna say before we hang up. When I made the video last week, I wanted to go and put what I was just telling you before we got on. I wanted to go one by one of who was drafted what. But Patty was unsure of whether his draft pick last week was shrimp.
No, I was not
grits.
unsure. I was not unsure.
It's never been clarified.
It was grits. But I was explaining.
Well, I knew it wasn't shrimp. I just didn't know if it was grits or shrimp and grits.
Well, it could have been shrimp and grits if that was allowed. But I was picking specifically grits because I was thinking shrimp and grits. Because shrimp and grits are fucking god tier.
Anyway.
That's all I got.
That was fun. Good times.
Yeah. You ever say something so confidently that and then realize you're wrong? Shit.
Oh, what happened?
Did it die?
Where did it stop? No.
Oh, no.
Whopper, Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible, or Bacon Whopper. I rule this day. And BK, have it your way.
Until next time on Who F'n Kneauxs Podcast, follow me at the Patty V. Follow Dave.
At the Dave. Is that my? Yeah, at the Dave.
At the in the know. Who F'n Kneauxs? At Who F'n Kneauxs everywhere. Every place you can find us. I don't know if it's through this, through that. I don't know what's going on anymore. Who F'n Kneauxs? Till next time.
Deuces.